Sorry. Coming up on today's edition of the Art Marketing Podcast, Nick and I are back at it. We are going to be talking about consistency, motivation, and having a co-pilot. Okay, you should never fly alone. Never fly alone. Nick, glad to have you back for another episode. Happy Friday. Excited
Happy Friday.
to dive into today's topic. And we should sort of tease the fact that we got an internal data report that is staggering for us, okay? And it has some staggering implications. And it 1000% applies to every single solitary one of you, whether you're a customer or not. If you are a creative trying to sell your creations, this 100% applies to you. So we want to talk about that, and we want to start with consistency, okay? Consistency in the face of trying times, consistency in the face of opposition, consistency when you least want to be consistent, and just how staggeringly important it is. We got to talk about it. We got to bang the drum on it. We got to encourage you guys, bribe you guys, harass you guys, use every tool we have in our arsenal to just keep you consistent, Nick. Consistency.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, this data that we have, as Pat said, it's absolutely shocking. I mean, we might as well just start getting into it and showing it, right? Because it's this overall common theme of like that we have just been banging the drum on for, a decade, right? Which is like the biggest problem that is out there for artists is that you don't do consistent marketing. Period.
Right? And it's not just artists. It's all of us in all of our daily practices, right?
It is.
It's hard
because it's hard. There's psychology to it. If you're not getting wins, you feel like it's demotivating, all this different stuff. Right. But the fact remains that the people that are doing the consistent marketing every single day, right, all year long are the ones who are winning. It's like literally that simple. And we might as well just start showing the data right now.
Yeah. And I don't have the data ready to show. Do you have it ready to show, or are we going to put it in the show notes?
Oh, we'll put it in the show notes. I thought you were going to screen share.
We'll put the charts of this in the show notes, but let me just tee it up. Okay. So 3 years ago now, maybe 3.5 years ago now, we created a product called CoPilot. Okay. And the premise with CoPilot is because we host our customers' websites, and because we have all their corresponding data, their products, the product titles, their catalog, if you like, and the image titles and all of the things, we created this service that would integrate with their website, integrate with their email, integrate with Instagram, integrate with Facebook, and start posting on their behalf. And so how that manifested itself, okay, is no matter what, 7 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, but 6 to 7 days a week, posts were going out. Posts were going out when you were posting on your own. Posts were going out when you were sick. Posts were going out when you were out of town on vacation. Posts were going on when you were locked yourself in your studio for 3 days, or you were out in the field shooting. No matter what, the work got done consistently because the software was handling the posting. Okay.
Yep. It wasn't reliant on you. The software was doing it no matter what, rain or shine.
The artist was out of the loop. And I'll say more broadly that I hated this service early on. And the reason that I hated this service is because I know you guys deep down as well as any human being alive knows you. Okay. I know the default state of creatives. The default state, the deepest, darkest secret of you guys is what? All I want to do is create. And I want someone else to take care of everything else. And what that's going to allow me to do is just create and have someone take care of everything else. Every single solitary person that this audio or video is reaching that is a creator secretly just raise their hand, Nick, because that is what they want. They want someone else to handle all the other stuff. Okay. So I didn't like the service just based on that fact, because I knew what would happen. You guys would say, okay, I got on this CoPilot thing. It's doing all the marketing for me. I don't have to do anything else, right? Well, we've now got 3.5 years worth of data, maybe even close to 4 years worth of data of a cohort that is on the service and a cohort that's not on the service. Okay. And this is less a sales pitch on sign up for the damn service as it is the underlying C word, just consistency. The artists, the photographers that have remained on the service in which the posts were going out no matter what, okay, no matter what. And we should say some of the artists don't love every single solitary post. Some are like, I would like to make the language a little bit different. Some people leave it on autopilot. Some people change the language on every single solitary post to make it sound more like them. But the reality is you cannot mess with the consistency. For those that were on the service, regardless if their work was incredible and sold well, regardless if their work didn't really find an audience, they're still trying to find their niche, all of those other subset of questions were irrelevant. The ones that were consistent won. That's it.
That's right. That's exactly right.
It's not any more difficult than that.
I got the data for us. I slacked it to you. I don't know if it's better for you to show it on the screen or for me to show it on the screen.
Yeah, we got
take a look at that. Yeah. Because now we're going to give you guys the visual that we saw from our team in a leadership meeting that happened earlier this week.
And it's
just unbelievable.
It's like one of the most encouraging things for every single solitary person that's out there grinding in the trenches, because again, like the thing that I've got to say is like, it doesn't discriminate based on your work. It doesn't discriminate on your geographic location. It doesn't discriminate on your socioeconomic status. All it means is, were you consistent? Okay. Were you consistent? And I think that's probably the best I can zoom in given the screenshot. But you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So on the left side, you can see the people that are on CoPilot. Okay. And so that means their marketing is just being done for them, rain or shine, as Patrick was saying. And the red bar represents their sales in 2025, the red bars. Okay. Mm-hmm. The blue bars represent their sales in 2024. So you can see in 2025, the people that are on CoPilot are selling significantly more art than they did in 2024. Okay. And then if you look at the right side, these are the people that are not on CoPilot. Okay. So they don't have the marketing happening for them. And so this is just everybody in there. There's people that are doing marketing. There's people that are barely doing it. There's people that are not doing it. It's just like when you are on your own and you don't have software, essentially like working for you and doing this for you. These are the results. People are, Pat, they're down 50% this year.
Yeah.
They're down 50%. Like, this is insane, And it just shows you like why does that happen? Because when the economy isn't as strong, the housing market isn't as strong, or like all the factors that like post-COVID, right? Like created inflation, and there's just a lot of money going around, right? When it's not just a party where everybody can win, it's kind of like, you know how like everybody was a great stock picker during the COVID times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
everyone was a great businessman when interest rates were at 1%, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so like, artists, it was just easier to get away with, not being a great business person, not doing marketing for your own business, right? And they were making sales. But as soon as the going got a little bit harder, look what happens. They're down 50%.
I know.
I mean, it's like these are two cohorts of large groups of customers. We're talking, several thousand, are in each of these groups. More than that, because you're talking about a split here of like about 15,000 artists and photographers on our platform, right? There's the ones that are on the CoPilot and there's the ones that are not. And they're down 50%. The other ones look to be up, I don't know, 40 or 50%, when you look at those other bars. And man, that is just an amazing thing. And I think the thing that you and I know, and for anybody that's listening to this right now, is that we have seen that like a lot of common patterns with artists where it's like they do, Pat, what do? They do 3 days of marketing and then they just give up. I didn't get a sale. I'm done.
I know.
Right?
I know.
And it may not be that they had that decision, but they kind of just don't do it anymore. You know, oh,
I mean,
social media didn't work for me, or, you know, doing some email marketing or whatever the heck it is, and
yeah,
they just don't do it. And so most of them, most artists just don't do it. They don't put in the work, or they don't even, have any tools at their disposal to help them, knowing that they're not going to do the work. Now, the other point on those charts, and I don't know if you can pull it back up. It's kind of
mhm,
hard to see, but I would
yeah,
pull it back up anyway. Pull it back up anyway.
yep,
Um, on the right hand side, right? So again, the red bar represents sales in 2025 throughout the year. It's going by month, right? All the way to what is that? To into
June,
June. Yeah,
yeah,
so we're in the middle of June, um, and and the blue bars represent sales in the same period in 2024. So you can see on the right side the people that are totally on their own. Their sales have gone down a lot this year because that's the red bars. And I think the thing is that is like when you look at this and you see that like the effect of not doing consistent marketing, like what that can actually do to your business, chop it by 50% or grow it by 50%, like that is just a crazy thing.
yeah,
That is just it's just unbelievable. And so you have to ask yourself out there, like, what are you doing out there? Like if you're actually selling art, like you've made some sales in your business and you don't have consistent marketing behind you, it's Pat, I don't know what other way to say it at this point. It's like, it's crazy. Like
yeah,
you are leaving so much on the table. You cannot afford to not have that happen because nobody can humanly do like a couple of posts a day on all these platforms, send emails out, once a week or twice a week and stuff, and all this stuff that has to get done. There's just not enough time and there's not enough hours, right? And we know it because even the best artists on our platform, like years back before we had CoPilot, the ones that did the most marketing and were making the most sales, even they couldn't do all of that, you know?
yep. And someone just left a comment: trust the creative promotion process and be consistent, and that's it. One of the things that I always love doing is it's easy to get stuck in the forest through the trees, right? Can't see the forest through the trees. And let's use an analogy that takes it out of social media marketing, okay? Because one of the big rubs over the years that we've had with the service is that in order for us to do this and do this at scale, a lot of the language in the posts would sound similar, and some artists are like, I don't want to sound like the other artists, and all these various different things. Okay, great. Let's take it out of social media, okay? Because people get hung up and they think that like what is appearing on this feed. It's more important what goes in the feed, okay? Because what it says about them and the fact that everyone's going to see it and all the various different things, right? Let's take it out of that. Let's take it out of that completely, and let's go back to the paradigm. If you got your art into a gallery, okay? You got your art into a gallery. Are you in that gallery every single solitary day, monitoring every single solitary conversation, worrying about what the gallerist says, worrying about how the gallerist is pitching your work, what type of conversations that they're having? No, you're not. In fact, you could quite frankly care less. The minute that your work goes into a gallery, you're on cloud nine. You're like, my work is being sold. It's out there. It's getting done for me. This is amazing. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Nick. Would you be happy? Do you think it would be advantageous for your situation if that gallerist put up a sign that said open Monday from 1 to 3 p.m., Thursday at 11:30, and Saturday for 45 minutes? You wouldn't, would you? If your
No.
art is in a gallery, a retail gallery, the more that those doors are open, you want those doors open 9 to 9 on days that end in Y, right? That is what you want out of that gallery. You want people to be able to come in and walk into that gallery at any point in time, drunk or sober, okay, in whatever state of mind that they are, looking at that work, okay, in whatever capacity imaginable. And that is the exact analogy that being present on this thing is. Okay, the retail is the exact example, right? Because what about retail is exactly as social media, and this is like really important. It's kind of deep. Galleries, okay, that are showing your work, retail establishments that are showing your work, are reliant on multiple different kind of businesses, and it's the same on social media. Okay, you have trusted clients that you know that are going to come back, i.e. your serious friends on Instagram, right? That you know are going to come back and see your stuff and go to your profile. But you know what else you have a whole bunch of? Serendipitous people that are walking down the street at that particular moment for who the heck knows what reason. Okay, they're walking their dog. They're on a first date and they're early. They were going to meet somebody from LA to come down for dinner, and they're stuck in 45 minutes of traffic. And they serendipitously walk into that gallery, and because that gallery had its doors open, okay, because it had its doors open, they walked in, they saw your art, they got bonded to it, and now it's in their mind. The social media feed is no different, Nick. It is no different. It is binary. When I picked this phone up, when I walked by that gallery, was your art front and center? And that's it. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. And that analogy is insanely powerful because that is what is happening every single solitary day. Every day.
Every day. And this takes us right back to the entire discussion about how many eyeballs are seeing your art every day. How many eyeballs are seeing your products every day? Like, that's really what it is. And we've seen so many artists who they will not post on social media. They will not do marketing because they're worried about how it's going to make their profile look, because they're so concerned about the look of their profile page. And they will literally put that ahead of getting like dozens, if not hundreds of eyeballs on their art, or thousands every single day, which is just utterly insane. And there's so many little things like that, right? Like, I don't like this post isn't perfect, and the perfectionism on every single social media post rather than just going and letting them rip, And I think it's such an important point. I want to double down on something you said earlier, right? Because we're talking about this in the concept of art marketing CoPilot, which is a product of ours, right?
Yep.
And like, you don't actually, like, if you would do the social media every day and like the marketing that was required, you can do it. Like, that's the message here, is like, you can do it on your own. If you can't do it, have a tool that will do it for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is not about that product. The product solves this problem. And that's the data that we were showing. But the real problem is you know what I mean? Like, every individual artist who's listening to this or who's out there, and the decision that you're making on this. What decision are you making? Like, I think everybody should just say it to themselves. Like, audit yourself right now. Like, am I committed to doing consistent marketing every day?
Yeah.
Are you committed to it? And are you either going to, okay, because if do you understand this is what's going to be the game changer in your business? We just showed you the data, right?
Yep.
Like, do you believe that's going to be the case? And are you committed to doing it? Then what is your decision? You're either going to do it, or you need somebody else to do it for you. You know what I mean? Whether it's a consultant,
1000%.
an assistant, or software. It is as simple as that. If otherwise, you're in the other camp where you're like, I'm literally making the decision to not market my business, and I want more sales. Yet all the data is showing me that I have to do consistent marketing to get more sales. So it's totally illogical. You got to decide where you are and understand that if you're in that camp, you've made that decision that you're not doing marketing every day, and your business is going to, the results are going to show according to that decision.
Yeah, and I should say broadly too, like a couple of things that you touched on, and then we need to get to the bigger vision, right? Because you guys see us put a chart up. Okay, great. You got some magic chart and some bars, like ha 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 ha. What that chart is telling Nick and I, okay, because what is the life's mission of art storefronts, right? Solve the starving artist problem. What is our newest tool, Art Helper, which is including AI to help artists and photographers. The biggest takeaway, you guys, for us is we know you need the work just done for you. The analogy that I used earlier, okay, about the gallerist, that is the mental framework that we need to put into place. And what that data is showing us, okay, is that when you guys get out of your own damn way, okay, when the responsibility for doing this is effectively snatched away from you, okay, you are going to be more successful. right?
Yep.
You are going to be more successful. And one of the things that you touched on that you're probably not aware of, that I have more context on than you do, is if you look at your Instagram Insights report, okay, there is a report in there that shows the number of impressions that your content gets as a result of how they discovered it. Okay. Do you know the number of impressions that you get as a result of being discovered of someone coming to your profile and looking at the content via your profile? It's like less than 10%. Okay. All of the discovery happens of your content by it being dynamically inserted in someone's feed. Rarely do they come to your profile. Okay. So it's the gallerist analogy again, you guys. Like, we realize that every artist needs the digital equivalent of a gallerist, meaning you don't have any damn idea what's going on. The work is just being done, and it's not even occupying your mind space. Okay. It's not there at all. And in addition to that, like, look, Zayla Archop, I'm getting burnt out on the physical marketing. What do I do? It's like, I'm getting burnt out on the physical marketing. That's the point. All of us do. So the thing is that we have to get out of our own damn ways. The content in the posts might not be 100% the best we could ever do it. But guess what? It doesn't matter. All of you guys are saying deep down what you are really after and what you really want is success when the art sells. And what the data is showing is that the difference between the art selling and not selling is how many times people see it and are exposed to it. It's more important, the consistency, than the content of what's in the consistency. And that's just mass, and it's just facts. And it needs to be said.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's like the volume, the sheer volume of the marketing, right? Like, by far trumps the perfection, right? So if you have like, if you just literally post your art without even like typing a darn thing, not even anything, just post your art, right?
Yeah.
And you did that every day for like 30 days, that would be far better than spending 30 minutes or an hour on 5 posts in the month that were just, you felt were perfect.
Yeah.
By a mile.
Yeah.
Right? Because your product is the art. Your product, it starts there. If that's the only thing that you can do, you should do it. And so like, I think on the other question, the other comment that was in there, it's like, if you're getting burnt out on the marketing, automate it. That's the whole point. That's exactly why we built the CoPilot product, the art marketing CoPilot, is to automate it, right? Like, if you don't enjoy doing it or you can't get it done, automate it. Otherwise, do it or automate it. It's your choice, but it has to get done if you expect to grow your sales. Otherwise, if you probably had a 50% decline this year, or, your odds of selling have just been harder because you're not doing the marketing,
Yeah, and there's nothing new under the sun, you guys. Like, deep down, inherently, we know this, right? And in the title is like motivation. So let's talk about motivation for a second. Being consistent in your marketing is no different than being consistent in your fitness regime. Okay. We all know that if we get out of the house and walk, or maybe we rock, or maybe we lift weights, or maybe we ride our bike, or maybe we swim, or maybe whatever it is, right? We know the more consistent we do that, we know it's better to do that 5 or 6 days a week than it is to do it once a week, right? We know it's better to do it 3 days a week than not at all. And that, like, it's not about how good you did for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. That is your longevity in life. That is what your body's going to look like. That's how healthy you are. That's inflammation in your body. That's your longevity, right? Well, where the motivation comes in, and in this period that we're coming out of especially, it's like, and let's just say walking to keep it simple. You need to get out of that house and go for a walk, okay? Well, the problem with that is it's hard to do on its own when things are great. When things are tough economically, it's like you're sitting in your house, lacing your shoes up, and it's raining outside, Nick. it's raining outside. You're like, oh my God, I don't want to get an umbrella and a rain jacket and go trudging through puddles. Like, that's going to be the hardest thing. So what have we seen over the last year and a half is, are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? However you want to call it, it's been tough economically. There's been so much going on, and it's the exercise, and it's raining outside. It's raining outside, and you're like, I'm not going to put the shoes on. I'm not going to go out. There's no way. This is inclement weather. And what ends up happening is you start missing days. And then at the end of the month, you missed a whole lot of days. And then it starts piling into weeks. And then the next thing you know, the year is over. It's been raining all year. You haven't been out at all, and you're out of shape, and your body doesn't look great, and you've been getting sick more often. It just compounds and compounds and compounds. So we know, seeing this data, we know that sometimes it's going to be sunny outside and sometimes it's going to be raining outside. Software is the only way that we're going to be able to get these people consistent in a digital capacity. There is no other way to keep the gallery open, rain or shine, whatever it is, so that people can walk in. If it is not solved by software, if the artist is not essentially taken out of the process, they will never achieve the consistency, right? They will never ever achieve the consistency. And it's like Kate says here, right? I'm sitting on so much art, and the concept of showing and advertising gives me brain freeze. It's raining outside of her house right now. She's not going out for that walk. And you're not alone. You're not alone. It affects me running a marketing department at this company. I'm not consistent as I should be because it's raining outside here too. So we realize that, like, there's a lot of artists, Nick, that are not hearing this message. There are a lot of artists that don't have any idea that this is the concept. How can we empower the ones that do, right? And that honestly is going to inform so many of the development decisions that we are going to be making in the coming weeks and months, because it doesn't matter, you guys. There's two groups. There's the consistent group and the inconsistent group. And it turns out the consistent group is just a gallery that's open more days a week, day after day, week after week, month after month. And guess what? That's the difference.
Just absolute common sense, like as simple as that, you know? And so we've been spending like basically this whole time talking about or focusing on the group of people, you know, of artists who are not consistent, saying you need to get more consistent. Mm-hmm. Let's shift over for a second here to the other group whose sales have gone up considerably in 2025, right? Yeah. Like, it's like Christmas for them. It's like Christmas for them, you know? They're doing this. They've got the consistent marketing. And I think that what's happening out there is other people getting discouraged doing less. Maybe that's a part of it. Another thing that it could be is that in the age of AI, like, there's so much more content going out there that you can't survive without actually using, you know, tools and like having AI as an assistant behind you, getting consistent content out there, because other people are just doing it. They're doing it in every type of business. And so there's just more posts and more things that are more emails being sent. There's just more noise going into the social platforms. Whatever you want to call it, this is reality. You know, the group that's doing the consistent, they're having a great year. They're having a great year. And that's just amazing. I think, like you said earlier, this is a thing that should be celebrated, right? What we're talking about here is like seeing this and discovering it with real hard data, you know, from us internally, and seeing it. It's like knowing how big of a difference the consistency makes is like absolute gold. And going back to the thing that I mentioned earlier, which is like, which camp are you in? What decision have you made as an artist? Have you made the decision to be consistent? And then what are you doing about it? Is it you? Are you going to be consistent, or are you going to have automation make you consistent? But you have to be consistent, you know, because if you're not, you're going to suffer the consequences.
No, it's all the analogies pile up, and it's all things that we already know. But I think where I am is like, we have to do everything in our power to automate the consistency.
Yeah.
And the profundity of that should not be lost on anyone, because it's just the gallery analogy. Nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. The gallery analogy was the way that it went for years and years and years, and now that's gone. And it's, you know, it's so funny. I did an artist interview yesterday. This guy's crazy, by the way. Scott Westmoreland lives in Anaheim Hills, right? Worked at Disney for 30 years, did movie posters, did all the pitch decks for Disney, left that huge publishing business, got picked up by the publishing guys. He worked at Horizon, by the way. Do you remember that? Yeah. Anyway, did all his printing there. Got picked up by the art publishers, got into multiple galleries, had a huge business, iconic, top 10 seller on art.com. Yeah, top 10 seller on art.com. Okay. Phenomenally successful artist, teaches art, now 60. And he realized that whole business model is gone, right? All of it's gone. It's done. He gets a little mailbox money here or there from that still happening. And now what does he have to do? He's got to transition into being consistent. And the reason that I bring up his story is like Nick showed the graphs and said the people that are being consistent versus the ones that are not, it's independent of financial return. If you're an artist that's not established and you're just getting going, it could be the difference between 10 sales in the year and no sales in the year. If you're more established, it could be the difference between 50 sales in the year and 2 sales in the year, right? If you're humming, cooking with gas, it could be the difference between hundreds versus not. And it's across the board, right? Small sales on merch in the $20, $30, $40, $50 price points. It could be mid-level sales, small prints to all the way up to limited editions. It could be a couple more originals. But the reason that I bring all of that up is that when it's raining outside and you don't want to go for a walk, let me just tell you, the emotional reservoir is more filled up with forward motion and encouragement and sales of any dollar amount than anything else. Right? These people are like, I'm burnt out. I can't do it. The thought of all this happening, I can't do it. You would be amazed at what you can do when you get a little email that says order confirmed in a little dollar amount, and what that instantaneously does to your motivation, that does to your inspiration, it does to your encouragement to get out and keep going. So I go back to the same point. It's all about the C word. It's all about consistency. And what are we going to do, Nick, to make it easier for him? It's the $20,000 question, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, that's what our entire company is all about. That's what our entire business is all about, right? Is like this. We just know that this is just going to continue for the future. You know, like with AI and all that
more
stuff.
Important in the age of AI. AI is relevant.
We're at the very beginning.
Yeah,
we're at the very beginning, but everybody's going to be doing this type of stuff, and you need to make sure that you're seen. You know, you can't just be hiding back there. Yeah. And like, I think a good segue, like, and connection to like where we're at right now. Like, we're in June, we're in the third quarter. The summer season is a big art selling season. The biggest art selling time of the year is the fourth quarter, right? October, November, and December. So like
every year in, year out, never fails.
Never fails, right? And so like the timing right now is so perfect to just fix this problem right now, today. Like, fix this problem today. Anybody that's listening to this that is not being consistent, right? Are you being consistent? If you answer no, solve that problem today, right? Solve that problem today. Don't work on anything else. Just solve that problem. Everything else you're working on is not going to matter in your art business, right? Like, 100%. If you have a product that you believe is going to sell, your like the various pieces of art that you have, subject matter, whatever, you have to get it out there and you have to market it consistently. And so it's the timing right now is absolutely perfect to solve this problem. That's the positive thing about it, and get on the right track and do it now. Do it right now, because you got to be consistent, and you need that working behind you for the rest of the year, hopefully, so that when you get to October, November and December, like, you're starting to get some momentum and some compounding, eyeballs, people that are following you, getting an idea in their head of maybe what they want, so that when you start hitting them with some different offers and some marketing tactics in the fourth quarter, they're going to be the ones who are going to buy. And so the timing right now, Pat, is like, I mean, look, the timing is perfect at any time to solve a consistency problem, but it just so happens that the timing right now is like absolutely ideal to like make the rest, your next 3 months, your next 6 months through the end of the year as good as possible, so that you're running through the finish line and you're solving most likely the number one problem in your business right now.
100%. And like, look, the tendency is to hear this and like, oh my God, consistency. I've got kids. I've got an ill relative. My day job is killing me. It's crushing me. How the heck am I going to get to consistency? Break it down and do its smallest problem. Just be more consistent than you were yesterday. Then just be a little bit better the next day. Then when it's raining outside and you don't want to put your shoes on and go for the walk, just go for a walk around the block. You don't have to walk all the way down to the beach and then come back, walk 15 miles and look at your Whoop or your fitness tracker and say, look at me. Just figure out how to get a little bit more consistent, how to take it a little bit more seriously, how to leverage AI in your business as an employee a little bit more than you did the day before. It's just these positive steps. And the data, my goodness, it's just so clear. It is the difference. And you guys, let me just say it, and I say it all the time, and I will never stop saying it. I routinely run webinars with you guys. I've been running webinars with you guys for like 5 years, 7 years. Consistently, I get people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and occasionally 90s. This desire for you to create this work and ultimately gain the satisfaction of someone purchasing it, someone interacting with it, someone commenting on it, someone saying it inspired them is never going to leave you. It's not going away. You are never going to quit at this. The difference between you waking up 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now and being way happier than you could be, it's just the consistency.
Yep. There's a comment from Kate again that said, I don't know if it's going to sell. That insecurity is another block. Totally true. We've seen that a million times, you know? But what's the answer? The key answer to that is there's only one way to find out. You know, you got to get it out there. It's like the amount of times that we have seen artists come onto art storefronts and, you know, they struggled with sales. They had no sales. And then like they start marketing consistently, right? They start doing the marketing consistently. They're either doing it themselves, following our guides and, you know, the art marketing calendar, or they've got CoPilot automating the whole thing, sitting back, letting it all happen for them. Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's like 1 month goes by, 2 months goes by. Sometimes it takes 6 months. Sometimes it's right out of the gate. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I made a sale, and I hadn't made a sale in the last like 2 years trying with my other website and my other whatever. And it's like, it's because you're getting this out there now. You know, this stuff is getting out there, and then you're driving people back to a website that's designed to sell art. You know what I mean? And the experience just all makes sense, and it starts happening. But you got to get, you have to get your stuff out there. And so we've seen this so many times, right? And it's not like it's, you know, the best marketing in the world won't sell unsellable art, Pat. You know what I mean? It's there's no magic bullets out there, right? But at the end of the day, when you have new stuff, and if you might be insecure about it or not, like, you just have to get it out there. There's no other option. And we always talk about, like, internally at art storefronts, like shipping velocity, right?
Yeah.
That's our word for constantly be testing new stuff and getting it out there. And don't debate it. Don't belabor over it. Just get it out there. Nobody cares. If we did a post yesterday that was like controversial, 99.999% of you guys wouldn't even know it. You know, you wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't even know that it happened, and we would just remove it, right? Or like something that did good or something that was terrible. We do that every single day. There's posts that just go nowhere. We probably clean them out of our feed, or we just leave them there. We just leave them there, you know, and we just keep going. But do you know what happens? You know what happens when we do that? We discover things, right? We bump into things that we had no idea they were going to happen. Oh my gosh. Everybody cared about that. We had no idea. The only way you get there is by just shipping, just getting stuff out there. So I hope that helps you guys in your decision making. Get out of your own way and just let it go and ship more. Get more out. Get more content out there and see what happens. You know,
the analogy you said was just so powerful there, which is like, you know, for those that have those pangs of self-doubt, you don't know if the art is going to sell. You don't know if it's going to resonate. It's true. And there is no guarantee that you're going to sell. There's no guarantee that your art is good enough. Okay. There's no guarantee that if you start posting consistently that you're going to sell $100,000 in your first year, $1,000 in your first year, 550,000. There's none of those guarantees at all. There's only one guarantee. No one is going to knock on your door. No one is going to ring your cell phone. No one is going to send you an email if you don't get it out there. That's the only guarantee. If you're sitting on your couch and you're having the pangs of self-doubt and you're worried about your motivation, you're worried about your inspiration, you're worried about your confidence, all of those various different things, nothing, the only guarantee you have is if you don't get it out there, you'll never know. You'll never know. And it might be a hit and it might not be a hit. It might go really, really well and it might just sort of sell. But you don't learn what is going to really sell until you get off the couch and you start becoming consistent. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
It.
You know, and as another sidebar on that, that's why a lot of artists that like I'm seeing a lot of good things with is they start just like if they sketch something out and they're like in progress, if they're a painter, you know, just as an example, they just post that first, you know, and they're getting an early signal if anybody cares about where this is going, you know?
Yeah.
And when you start doing this more often, it's like, whoa, last time like 50 people actually cared. This time only 3 did. And you're like, you know what? I thought this was a good one, but maybe this was a little bit too niche, you know, and not a lot like this. Maybe this subject matter that I went for here didn't resonate as much. This is incredible information. You just got to be shipping and getting stuff out there, you know?
Hey, Nick, let me ask you, do you have a niche? Answer, no, I don't know what my niche is yet. Hey, Nick, do you have a niche?
No, I don't know what my niche is yet.
Well, do you have any early ideas for which types of your work might resonate?
Oh, I'm not sure.
You want to know why you're not sure? You don't have the basis of comparison. Okay. The basis of comparison is how we discover what our niche is, what's going to work. And so what do you guys do? You work on this body of work, and then you work on this body of work, and then you work on this body of work. I'm still trying to figure out what my niche is. No, you're not. No, you're not. You are just painting or photographing because you enjoy it and that's your hobby. If you want a business, it's time to start realizing if I'm a cook and I don't know what style it is, I better make dishes and serve it to people. And let me tell you, when they keep coming up and they're saying, I'll get that one, I'll have the fish, I'll have the fish, I'll have the fish, and no one's saying the steak, I know what my niche is, okay? We are a seafood restaurant. You will never know with all of this work you have until you have the basis of comparison. And when you're able to emotionally decouple yourself from the freaking fear and sheer terror that maybe somebody likes something and maybe somebody doesn't, you're not going to know until you have the basis of comparison. When you have the consistency, all your work is going out all the time. Some is getting engaged with, some is not. I have comparison. Maybe I have the niche. It's that simple. So be consistent. Be consistent.
Yeah. It's also something that's so liberating. I mean, we got to admit, right? Like you go back, Pat, I don't know, for us, for you and I, it's probably like 10 years at this point, you know, 7 to 10 years. But the point in time that you could basically remember where you stopped caring so much about what you were posting, you know, and what you were emailing out, because you learned that nobody on your list gives a you know what about what you are sending out. I hate to say it, they don't care. You know, even your friends don't care about what you're posting. Okay. Yeah. They're not reading and hanging off of every word. And so when you go and you get feedback from that one friend, like, hey, have you noticed? And they're like, oh, I noticed you've been doing this a lot. It's like, that's the one person, like your best friend, that like might give you a comment on it, but nobody cares and nobody's seeing anything. And when you get liberated from that, when you understand that, the volume of your marketing and tests and experiments that we're talking about will go through the roof, because you should not even be thinking about it. You should just be sending. Oh, the second you think about like, oh, I'm in the middle of this piece, or I'm thinking about going and doing this sort of a photo shoot, you know, it's like the second you think about it, you should probably just post it, you know, talk about it, do a selfie video or whatever it is, talk about what you're planning, whatever, get some feedback from people. What would you like to see? Where would you like this to go? Include them in the process. This is a big deal. Like there's more, like this is more than just consistency. This is about bringing people along the journey with you on the artist that you are and the art that you're creating. And that is a really big deal. That is a really big deal, you know, because some of the best selling artists on our platform, photographers, both sides, they're bringing people on a journey with them. There's a journey. It's like a lifestyle almost. That's where you see like people really resonating with an artist.
Yeah, you guys, the consistency and the basis for comparison, it changes everything. You guys are artists, you're photographers, you're creatives. Your creations, okay, is your work. I'm a marketer. Every email, every website landing page, every piece of ad creative, every social media post, every live broadcast, every podcast episode, that's my work. Do you have any idea how many of those I have released to crickets? How many of those I've released that no one cared about, that no one interacted with, that no one thought was valuable? Absolutely, almost the vast majority of them. Okay, you can jump, Nick. I'll finish it up. So
right.
thank you. So just don't let it demotivate you. You just got to stay consistent. You have to stay so consistent, and software is coming to help you guys. Why am I so bullish on AI? Because AI, for the first time in history, is the closest thing to a team member and to an employee, an artist, or a photographer can have. If you're new to AI, by the way, and you've not learned about AI, go and listen to some previous episodes of this podcast. I teach you how to prompt. Okay. I give you prompts that you can steal to start feeling like you have an employee. It doesn't mean sign up and use our freaking art helper service, which you can do. I don't care what AI you use. The greatest thing that is going to happen in this era of AI, not to go too far off the rails on the topic of this podcast, but it is going to give you an employee that is going to help you be more consistent, to go right back to the top, right? To be more consistent. I'm going to come out after this one, as soon as this podcast drops, and maybe you're watching it live now, or maybe you're watching it on YouTube later, or maybe you're listening to it on the podcast feed. The next episode after this one, or after the artist one that I just did yesterday, is going to be my next level prompting episode, and it is going to blow your minds. Okay. Most of you have absolutely no idea just how in depth you can go with AI to get results out of a prompt. I'm going to teach you how to take prompting, okay, from good to superhuman, from good to superhuman. Okay. And the results are just waiting for you. As I close things out, my internal outreach team would be remiss not to let you know that we have a crazy deal going on at Art Storefronts right now. 0% transaction fees for life. That means when you sell your art on your website, you keep 100% of the revenue the entire time. And we're also, because we know Q4 is coming and because we know summer is so important, the entire summer is on us. So you don't pay for the summer at all. So for those that are interested in that, go and get a demo. For those that are needing to get an employee in their business, start listening to these episodes on AI. I'm telling you, they're going to be good. The download counts are already showing you that they're insane. And ultimately, you guys, stop overthinking every damn thing and start being consistent. If you can do that, not easy, I know. I need to do it. Okay. I got to go post this podcast everywhere right now. I don't want to do it. It's Friday. I just want to hang out with my kids. But I've got to be consistent. You've got to be consistent. If we are, we'll win. On that note, thanks for listening. And have a